Hello there, and welcome to the Average Pundits podcast, where we talk about all things Premier League. And I'm back.
Yeah, you are back, mate.
I've been cured from ligma, and I'm back at the helm with my good pal, Mr. Joseph Brody.
Hi, mate.
So it's nice to be back in the studio. We had a little off week.
Yeah, we had a makeshift studio last week.
Makeshift studio for MacBook to get some content out for you guys.
Yeah, big thanks to Dom Hebron last week for stepping in and filling in for Reese on that one.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I listened to it post-edit as well. I was like, oh, what a majestic voice. Two Gloucester lads just going at it.
Two Gloucester lads. Yep, there we go.
There you go.
What a soundbite.
Oh no, what have we done?
Well, after that, mate, should we jump on?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
The Premier League then, mate. What was the first game?
So we have a very historic occasion. Watford's first win of the season.
That's just shocking, isn't it?
Especially with a player like Gerard Deulofeu.
Yeah, I do like Deulofeu. Andre Gray getting the other goal, wasn't it?
Yes, Andre Gray getting the naughty goal, and actually no, it was 52nd minute. Obviously Watford also getting Cabasele sent off as well.
I was gonna say it wasn't even like a good game. I mean, even Norwich like dominated them on possession as well.
Yeah, like Norwich. They're going down, and I can see another Xherdan Shaqiri situation with Gerard Deulofeu. He's going to go down with Watford, and then someone's going to pick him up for like 20 million, and he's going to steal the show at some club, maybe like Crystal Palace or Sheffield United.
Yeah, or Sheffield.
Or maybe a Wolves team.
I can see someone picking him up, or maybe even him leaving the league. I mean, he might have unfinished business back in Spain, to be fair.
Like going to like a Villarreal or an Athletic Bilbao, maybe Atletico Madrid. If Correa's not doing it for him there.
Yeah, they're like taking risks.
Exactly.
Chelsea Palace.
Yeah, indeed. Chelsea's. I think they've gone up to 6 wins in a row now. Chelsea are in very good form.
And it's the same names.
Exactly. You got Abraham Pulisic. Mason Mount is also still picking up really good form. Showing his true star potential.
It was just a pretty convincing win from Chelsea, really, wasn't it?
Indeed, they dominated the ball. They had 23 shots at Crystal Palace, and there's not really much you can say about Palace's performance other than it was kind of poor.
Not really. I mean, these are the games which you'd be expecting Chelsea to kind of like pick up the win on anyway. So at the end of the day, it was nothing too exciting. I mean, Reece James again, and another Chelsea youngster who seems to be getting a lot more game time. Tell you what, someone to mention quickly as well, that Tomori centre back.
Oh yeah,
mate, he's looking special, isn't he? He's looking good.
He's like a buffed up version of Kurt Zouma. Like he's huge.
A good
he's
version
very
of Kurt Zouma.
very good. Like an overpowered version of Kurt Zouma. He's a yeah, I can't swear.
No, you can't swear.
He's built like a brick house.
He is built like a brick house, mate.
So,
Burnley West Ham, what a win. What a win for Burnley.
Yeah, they dominated. They absolutely dominated the game.
Yeah.
Other than the possession, but that doesn't really count nowadays. Chris Wood scoring a goal and then it getting disallowed. And then also scoring again, and then pointing as like, oh, go check that one out.
Did you see the own goal from Jimenez?
Oh yeah, what? That corner was the corner was good.
He's looking rubbish, mate. I can't lie. Like I do not rate that keeper at all.
I don't know if I've missed something or if I've just not. Where's Fabianski? Is he injured?
He's around. He could be injured, mate. To be honest with you,
I haven't a clue where he is.
All I know is that in that game, that Roberto Jimenez was just rubbish.
Yeah. That West Ham's keeper troubles keep failing them at the minute. When they had Fabianski in goal, they were fine. But I think they just need to sort it out quickly.
They kept the possession, but I mean, Burnley 14 shots and 12 on target. That is clinical.
Yeah, that's
3 goals.
Yeah,
that is good.
Nick Pope getting man of the match in that one. Obviously showing, they got the clean sheet as well, saving all 4 shots on target from West Ham. Obviously not quite the 12. That's 3 times more. So Ashley Barnes also getting on the score sheet, and also that own goal was absolutely tragic. What a travesty that was for the keeper.
Yeah, onto a bit more of a competitive game. You've got Newcastle's 2-1 over Bournemouth.
Yes.
Newcastle, they just every now and again it's just like it's consistently pretty poor, and then win.
Yeah.
Poor, win. Poor. It's just kind of like fluctuating between the two. But Yedlin and Clark getting on the score sheet 10 minutes apart from each other.
Did you see the Bournemouth goal? It was training ground-esque.
Yeah. Wilson who converted it, wasn't it?
Yeah, a corner into I can't remember which player it was. Straight into Wilson, who run round the defence first time. Brilliant. It was so well orchestrated. But yeah, obviously then DeAndre Yedlin coming back, leveling the game.
Yeah. Just
before half time, and then Kieran Clark getting the winner, who also got man of the match as well. Voted on Budweiser's man of the match.
Good little performance. Everton also getting a 2-1 win over Southampton.
Yeah. Another little cheeky factoid for you guys. This is Everton's first away win this season.
First away win again. A bit of an unconvincing stat there, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not. It's so poor. Like from an Everton side that we know can do well.
Yeah.
Like they've only improved since last season, or they should have, with the transfers. But again, I guess they yet to actually prove themselves. Southampton also didn't have a shot on target in the first half.
Again, look, we mentioned so many times, just they're going down and they're not Premier League quality.
No, they're not.
Danny Ings, again, usual suspect, scoring again.
I think he'll reach double figures this season. I think he'll reach 10.
If he reaches double figures and they also get relegated, then that will be just gutting for him. Hopefully someone picks him up.
Absolutely. I mean, I can see someone paying about 10-15 million for him.
Return to Burnley, maybe.
I think joining the attack with Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes, that could be a deadly trio. Maybe one of them sitting behind the other as a central forward or something. But that could be great.
I mean, Everton in that game, had 24 shots and 5 on target.
Yeah, that's a poor return for shots on target, and then only getting 2 goals from those 24 those 24 shots.
I mean, it's Richarlison and Davies. I mean, I've mentioned Richarlison a couple of times. I do quite like him. Richarlison's
one of those players, like, he's good, but he has to. I think he's one of those players that has to have the team built around him.
Yeah.
He isn't a player that likes to share the ball a lot.
Not really. Like, I feel like he almost sometimes has a similar mentality to Gabriel Jesus, but Gabriel Jesus is just like he's just a winner.
Yeah.
He has a winner's complex. I mean, you can see how frustrated he gets when things don't go his way. But like at the same time, I feel like Richarlison's got that similar kind of level about him, maybe just not at Jesus' quality yet.
Absolutely not.
Drifting on, Leicester with a 2-0 win over Arsenal.
It was a Maddison and Vardy party over Arsenal. What a game that was for Leicester.
I mean, it would be amazing to have one podcast where we can say something bad about Leicester, wouldn't it? I mean, is that going to happen?
Yeah, when they beat us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, just more and more convincing.
I mean, they move up to second in the table, 8 points behind Liverpool. Obviously, I'm not sure who's going to catch them yet, but we'll move on to that in a bit.
Terrible performance from Arsenal.
Absolutely. It was an awful performance. Jamie Vardy running all over the place for this game. Arsenal had 1 shot on target.
Yeah.
This entire game.
So what, Ozil being back in that Arsenal team was interesting to see.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a sort of Thanos moment. It was like, all of your wrongdoings has brought you back to me, kind of thing. So like Ozil coming back into the starting 11 is starting to show that maybe that Ozil is needed by Unai Emery.
Maybe. I mean, no Xhaka as well. Obviously, that situation is only going to get worse before it gets better, I think. He came out and he released another statement about him. He still wants to perform well for the Arsenal team. I can see no scenario other than him leaving. I mean, whether that's January or the summer, but he's definitely on his way out.
Absolutely. Well, either way you look at it, the Maddison and Vardy goals, Leicester had 19 shots. Vardy getting man of the match. It was not a good evening for Unai Emery.
I mean, a lot of people thought that would be it. They thought that would be the sacking.
Yeah.
But still hasn't come yet.
I don't think that sacking the manager mid-season is a good idea at all, especially for a big club like Arsenal, especially for developing players in that team like Maitland-Niles. You don't want a manager switch. That's what Man United did. And they're only just like slightly recovering from that.
I don't think we're still feeling the impact of Ferguson leaving.
Yeah, obviously, but like you're only starting to come up on and up now. Like, just for some time, you were quite stale and boring, and like sort of you're building. It's sort of a rebuild period for United now. Whereas Arsenal, I think, are just about to hit that point.
Possibly, mate. Possibly. Keeping on the trend, 2 goals. Wolverhampton beat Villa 2-1.
Exactly. The West Midlands derby, as Wolves. I think they deserve the win. Raul Jimenez has put his goal tally up to 3 in the last 3 games. He scored in 3 games in a row. Ruben Neves' strike as well to put Wolves in front. What a goal that was.
Just classic Neves.
Again, what I said earlier about the Bournemouth goal, straight off the training ground.
Yeah.
Straight from the free kick, past to Neves, first time. There's not a lot you can do, but the keeper couldn't do a lot about it.
I'm going to say their routines are pretty immaculate when they want to put the stops on.
Exactly. You've got a free kick specialist like Ruben Neves. You don't have him over the ball. You know it's going to him.
Yeah.
Either him or Raul Jimenez, because those two are some of the deadliest strikers in the Premier League.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And then obviously you had Jimenez. Oh, excuse me. Putting the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for Aston Villa. But then obviously Trezeguet. It had to be goal on technology that helped out the referee there.
Was it Trezeguet?
Yeah, it was Trezeguet for Villa in the 92nd minute.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. What? Sorry, I don't know what else I thought it was. Yeah, no, it was Trezeguet.
Yeah, Trezeguet. He's my brain scrambled. I've got some rust about me. I've had a week off, and I'm a bit shaky. So yeah, Trezeguet shooting the ball. It's going just over the line. Ref had to wait for his little dinghy on his watch. And
yeah. A more of a convincing win in a long time for Man United with a 3-1 win over Brighton. I was happy to see the win. Again, the goals were scoring. I mean, that Pereira opened the score in the 17th, but that arguably should have been an own goal. I mean, it took a massive deflection.
It was a huge deflection.
Very fortunate to get that given as the goal, and then Davy Proper getting an own goal. Off Scott McTominay's kind of scramble into the box. So 2 very scrappy goals to put United up. And then Dunk luckily got a goal, went back for Brighton in the 64th, but Rashford straight after that, 2 minutes later, bang.
Yeah,
but most important player in that game 100% was Martial again.
Yeah, he's a player that Man United definitely missed when he was out. Coming back into the team, he just shows that he is what they need. He is the striker. He is the man. He's the Man United man that they need right now. And if you're going to rebuild a team, like I just said, that is the man to rebuild around. You've got to get some help for him.
Yeah.
When those players aren't playing well, when Rashford isn't really up to scratch, when Pogba, obviously he's not up to scratch right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's been a while since we've had Pogba in the team.
So maybe when Pogba comes back into the team, you've got him and Martial and Rashford. You just need a creative playmaker that can make sure that Martial can score all the goals that he needs and also help out Marcus Rashford.
I think possibly with maybe, like you said, a creative reinforcement and maybe an attacking reinforcement in January, we could really progress in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I think possibly focusing on the Europa League would be smart, I think maybe that's a good route to get back into the Champions League.
Exactly.
You've got some big teams in the Europa League. I mean, not to count them out, but I feel like if you sign the talent and you invest in it, we can have ourselves back into the Champions League.
Absolutely.
Which is possibly a very maybe unexpected route to go down, but
if you've got to do it, I mean, Ollie's probably looking at it like that way. You've performed very well in the Europa League so far, and I do have you tipped to win the Europa League this year. I think that's the only way that it can go.
It's just we're going to have to put all of our eggs in that basket, I think.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Man City.
So this game was quite. It was interesting. VAR sort of having a very controversial stance in this game.
I watched this game start to finish, and I was pretty annoyed. I can't lie. I mean, obviously, it's Liverpool and City. I mean, either result isn't exactly going to be something to scream about for me. But at the same time, Trent, just the first handball, that was an evident handball.
The first one, I would actually agree. I reckon a penalty should have been given. However, the second one, I don't think that was that unnatural for him to be for his arm to be in that position. As you look at the shot that's come in, Trent's trying to pull his arm out and behind him, so he doesn't handball it. So he's trying to get out of the way as it's hit his arm.
I don't know. I mean, that may well be the case, but I feel that it could be argued there was enough there. But either way, VAR it was just in your guys' favour that game.
It was obviously the potential offside call
with Salah.
Salah.
And then there was the Fabinho goal as well, because at the other end of the pitch, Aguero went down in the box.
Aguero went down, and then the handball, and then obviously you just carry on play Fabinho, but then Fabinho's strike, what a goal that was.
I was going to say, the things that I took from that game, VAR was in your favour, although you played very well.
Yeah.
Man City didn't particularly play well at all. Very poor conversion in that game.
For Manchester City, that was poor. They had 18 shots. They had more shots than us, but they only managed 3 on target. And one of those shots on target was a goal.
Yeah.
If they'd have put more on target, they might have won that game. In the famous words of Michael Owen.
It's alarming to see, because now I can see no other outcome now. Liverpool are probably going to win the league now.
Yeah, I mean, we are. I was like 10 points in front of Man City. 8 points top of the league.
It would take a miracle now, a terrible, awful slump for Liverpool, for it to go wrong.
And what better time than the international break
to
kill our momentum, right?
I mean, the only thing I could see is stopping that train is injuries, or possibly a couple of shock results.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Crystal Palace at Selhurst.
Yeah.
Next, or after the international break, and they are always a bogey team. Obviously, everyone remembers Cristambal. Everyone remembers Cristambal. I'm sorry, I'm wrecking the set here. Yeah, so they're kind of a bogey team for us. So I'm wary of that game, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. Like right now, it's looking pretty set in stone. But you never know. Maybe there could be an upset. Maybe it'll be Leicester.
I mean, that's what I've got my money on. But we obviously scraped a win against them last time. So
yeah,
we'll see. My fingers are crossed. I want to see us win the Premier League in my lifetime. That'd be nice. So
the last game of the weekend to talk about that we haven't mentioned yet, going back to Saturday, Tottenham Sheffield United, a 1-1 draw.
It should have been 2-1.
I think it should have been as well.
Sheffield United were robbed at Spurs.
They were not happy.
I saw it. I was not happy at all. I saw that goal. I was like, that should have been a goal. Spurs should have lost that game. Spurs were, as always, as they have been this season, poor.
Yeah,
they are poor.
So many questions to be asked at Spurs right now.
I don't think it's Poch. As we've said before, it's not Poch. It's down to some of the players. It has to be.
I don't know. I don't know if it is Poch. I don't know if Poch has lost favour with them.
It might be that. It might be a Ranieri situation where the players sort of don't like the tactics of the manager, and they're trying to sort of maybe it's not the right way to go about it, but to try and get the manager out.
You have performances like Kane and Son are pretty consistent with the goals, and then players like Lo Celso's been getting a couple of good performances recently. And Dombele's been looking pretty average in my opinion.
He gasses up after like half a game.
Yeah, he does.
I was talking to fellow average pundits, he's the colleague, not sort of guest, Sam, and he was like, "Oh yeah, he looked good for the first half, but then he just tires out. His legs stop working in the second half, so he has to come off. He doesn't have the stamina that maybe obviously Sissoko's not the greatest, but he can run. He can run for the entire game. I don't think Ndombele possesses that sort of mentality, and he can push forward and forward and forward. Obviously, you've got your goal scorers. Their centre backs are sort of inclining a bit. They're getting older. They're not as good as they used to be. They've got Kyle Walker-Peters at right back, and Serge Aurier as well, who's not the greatest.
No, it's just I feel like the team needs a bit of a revamp maybe.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in January. It'll be interesting to see if Poch lasts the season.
That is true. I think if any time to do it is just before Christmas, bringing in a manager, Allegri maybe, to then come in, get an understanding for the team, have 3 games, then also have the January transfer window to make changes.
Yeah.
And that is what I think is the smart. If you're going to sack a manager, wait until midway through December, bring in have a replacement
like ready,
and ready to go. Get what they need ready, get the money ready, give them a few games to see where you need to improve, and give them the January transfer window to then improve the team. No,
definitely, mate. I think I'd agree with that there. But we left that game to the end because we are going to be talking about Sheffield today, aren't we, Reece?
Oh, we are. Sheffield United. They are currently they're in a great form as a newly promoted side, and we'll get onto that very, 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 very soon. After we, sorry, I got to get my conductor's hat back on because it's the hype train. See, yeah, I don't think you like this segment, do you?
Bloody hell!
But you know what? We'll get into the hype train right now. We're thank you for stepping in last week. That Jordan Pickford was my little put in for Everton's episode. So the first one I'd like to offer is a player that I actually know, Fabinho.
Yeah, Fabinho, a player of great frustration to me because he could have been in a United shirt. I still believe if we would have put the actual effort to get him in, just we let players slip through our fingers, and what a player that was to let go. I think everyone knew, people who had watched outside the Premier League knew that he was a talented player. Right back, centre back, defensive mid, centre mid, he can play a fair few positions. But I feel like for Liverpool, he has really been a great player.
For the price that we got him for as well, it was like just over 30 million.
About that, yeah.
It was absolute class. He was one of the key components that Monaco side that won the Ligue 1 over PSG.
Yeah.
He filled in a role that was just absolutely phenomenal, and for him to come to us and still put in those, he's risen to the top of the central defensive midfielder ranks as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He's up there with Kante. I was going to say, we talked yesterday a bit, and Wilfred Ndidi, he's a very class central defensive midfielder. But obviously you got Fabinho, who he can shoot the ball, he can bring the play up.
Yeah,
he goes back to allow the wing backs to push up the field.
That's I think the element to his game which most impresses me is his defensive contribution whilst the attack's going on. But I mean, as you saw on the weekend, he can clearly still bang a goal if he wants one.
Exactly. He's still, what is he, like 24? He's very young. He's a great player. He's got a lot of room to grow. Probably going to be one of the best central defensive midfielders. Within the next 5 years.
I'd say so.
And that's why I'm putting. You know what? I'm going to put him in world class.
Yeah, go on then. I'll agree.
He's a world class player. You can't not put him there. He is phenomenal.
I'll agree with that.
Right, we've had another submission. Moving on. I can't lie to you guys. I've never heard of this player until now. Obviously, I don't watch any Manchester United games at all. So, Joe, I'll kind of leave this to you. Brandon Williams, the Manchester United left back.
Yeah. See, now, this is a really interesting inclusion because he kind of came onto the scene out of nowhere. Just United have got a couple of youngsters that we've got floating around the first team now. You've got obviously Mason Greenwood, you've got Callum Gribbin, Brandon Williams, and then you've also got a couple of others. I mean, like Heath Chong and Angel Gomez was still kind of floating around. So young players, we're starting to see more kind of inclusions from them. But Brandon Williams came in as a result to kind of like a fullback reinforcements. And the games that we've seen him play so far has got a lot of United fans talking, more in particular against Brighton. He just looked very convincing. There's only one real category to put him in right now. I mean, because obviously he's had 3 appearances in the Prem.
Yeah.
So.
And 2 appearances in the League Cup.
Yeah.
He made his debut against Rochdale. Obviously, he played a Europa League game.
Yeah.
He's played 7 games for Man United.
Talking strictly about the Prem, though, I mean, a win, a draw, and a loss that he's got under his belt right now hasn't had enough time to make much of an impact on the league itself.
No,
so prospect is where he's going to be.
Yeah, prospect. He's 19 years of age. He's younger than both of us right now.
Yeah,
and we're sat talking about him.
It's crazy. Isn't
it's unreal. So yeah, the prospect has got to be where he is at. Obviously, I actually never heard of him until now, and hopefully he goes out there and fully proves himself and makes me know who he is. Because at this point,
I think
I have not much to go on.
I think you'll start to see him included a bit more in the United team if he's already kind of making a name for himself at the moment. So it'll be interesting, like you said, interesting to track his journey. But if he keeps up the performances like he's shown already so far, exciting times ahead, maybe.
Exactly. Maybe this completely fixes your fullback and defensive struggles. Like, yeah, Luke Shaw's great and all, but is he what Man United needs? I don't really think that's the case. And if this Brandon Williams guy is the answer, oh, well, you know what? Full steam ahead.
Yeah.
So I reckon, a prospect category because he's put in a few good performances for Man United, and he might well be good. So yeah, let's put him in that prospect category.
Yeah.
So with that done, we're going to pull off episode 8 Hype Train. We're going to go right up to episode 9 next. Please leave your suggestions over social media, Instagram at Average Pundits, and on Twitter at Pundits Average for some reason, because Twitter wouldn't let me have Average Pundits. So, main topic time.
Yeah.
Sheffield United. Very, very good at the minute.
Off the bat, a privilege to have them in the league this year from some of the games that we've seen early
Absolutely.
on. Premier League's all about excitement. It's all about you never know what's going to happen.
The unpredictability of the Premier League is what is the magic of the Premier League.
I think even more in recent years, it's become even more unpredictable because newly promoted sides have come up and they've been absolutely brilliant. They've caused some massive upsets. Right now, you've got dominant performances from teams like Wolverhampton, Aston Villa, and Sheffield as well.
At the beginning of the season, Norwich were sort of coming up and prominent in the league, but obviously they've fallen off slightly.
But I mean, it's just great to see. I mean, because these teams go out who maybe at the start of the season you didn't provide that many ratings to, and then all of a sudden they start banging in performances left, right, and centre, and it just really is awesome to see. But Sheffield United at the helm, you've got Chris Wilder, joined the club in 2016? I think he joined the club. He's been there ever since. I mean, taking them up to the Premier League. I think the players enjoy playing for him.
Yeah, when you see it when they play, they've got a level of respect for Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
He's been a manager that's gone through a lot, and to bring them up to the Premier League, he obviously knows what he's doing, and the players respect that, and they go under his tutelage and want to learn from it, and they constantly build on that. So with the experience of Wilder, and to have the youth and the talent that Sheffield United have, it's such a great combination for them, and obviously it's showing it's working 100% for them.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, Wilder had 2 spells at Sheffield, so I feel like that's always nice as well. I feel like managers who have some sort of affiliation with the club, a lot of the time it can really help boost the mentality. I think of the players, they have someone who knows what it's like to put on the shirt.
Exactly, like obviously you've got the same going on with Chelsea and Man United at the minute.
Yeah.
Not obviously it's not helping us because there's not a lot of managerial experience there. Whereas Wilder has had a lot of managerial experience leading up to this point.
Yeah.
Maybe we will see that later on. Obviously, Frank Lampard is actually doing quite well. He's Chelsea are 3rd in the league.
Yeah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is probably going to get there at some point. Maybe under with the right investments. But then you've got Chris Wilder, who's got a championship team, and they are currently 5th in the Premier League.
Yeah, and let's highlight on that. Like you said, it is realistically on paper, it probably is a championship team.
Yeah. You don't have many Premier League-esque players there. I mean, I don't think that the investment has been there for Chris Wilder since joining in May of 2016 from Nigel Adkins. He brought in a few players with free transfers and making Billy Sharp the captain. He's just built from there and there and there. Then securing the promotion to the Premier League. I think it was they went through automatic promotion, didn't they?
Yeah, literally went straight through automatic promotion with that.
Yeah, they were they've been the best promoted club since.
Without a doubt. But I mean, they've already had some extremely convincing results in the Premier League already. Some big wins.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wonder if there's a ceiling to this. I mean, like you said, right now they are fifth.
Yeah.
But does it get to a point where it's like, oh, I wonder if this is going to stop. I wonder if this is going to continue.
I'd like to point out a weird trend with the Premier League table that I just noticed researching this. So the top four have so from I'd say from 17th to 5th, all of the teams either have 3 or 4 wins. It's that close. Aston Villa are on 3 wins, and then you've got Sheffield United in 5th on 4 wins. The point difference is 6 from 5th to 17th. That is how close that is. So any run of form from those places could fluctuate entirely out of Sheffield United's favour.
Mate, I tell you what, like if there was ever a stat to highlight how scrappy the Prem can be, there it is, isn't it?
Exactly. Like obviously, Aston Villa have got 7 losses, and then Sheffield United got 3.
Yeah.
It's obviously the amount of draws that each teams are getting. Like Wolves have got 7 draws and 2 losses next to their name, but it's all about the run of form that they have. And Sheffield United have been able to turn some scrappy losses into maybe just draws, and they've been able to do it really well.
And they've had some results which I feel that they've been a bit robbed from. Probably, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Liverpool game was mental.
Yeah.
It was so unfortunate not to get a point off them, at least a point.
I mean, they had the 3-0 win over Burnley.
Yeah.
That was great. The scrappy 1-1 draw with West Ham.
The 1-0 win over Arsenal.
Arsenal, that was a fantastic result for them. Obviously, they drew to bottom of the table, Watford.
They've had points off Chelsea. They've had points off Tottenham. They had a 2-1 loss to Leicester. I mean, it's still a good game.
Yeah, they beat Everton. I mean, they did lose to Southampton, but obviously that was early days in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like you say. They've had points off Chelsea. They're just a very good. They got a goal against second place currently, Leicester. They beat Crystal Palace on the They're a very good team. Let's just say that the opening weekend they got a point against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
and Bournemouth are currently sitting 9th. This, when you talk about these mid-table sides, it's like this season is probably the best season to talk about them because it's so unpredictable.
Yeah,
5th place. Like if I was to predict the Premier League table before, I would not put Sheffield United anywhere near. I would say I was tempted to predict that they would go down at the beginning of the season.
Don't think I dream of it now.
No, absolutely not. I guarantee that they stay up. But yes, I say that there is again only a 6-point differential between 17th and 5th.
That is bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah. The relegation zone is Watford at the minute. Watford at 18th with 8 points, and then you've got Sheffield United only 9 points ahead of them. So that's 3 wins that Watford could get, and Sheffield United could get 3 losses in a row.
Yeah,
that completely fluctuates.
Completely
changes the game for them.
I mean, out of the 12 matches they've played in the Prem so far, they've had 4 wins and they've had 3 losses, and the rest of it have equated to draws. Not terrible at all, considering the kind of results that they've been getting on, especially on the draws and against the teams they've been playing. Not bad at all. They haven't really been rife for goals. Obviously, the 3-0 win over, was it Burnley?
Yes.
That was probably a rarity. I mean they've got a shooting accuracy currently of 29% on average.
Yeah, I think it's very rare that they get more than 1 or 2 goals a game.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 1-1 draw with Spurs. Then obviously you've got the 1-1 draw with West Ham, 1-0 against Arsenal, there's 0-0 Watford, and then obviously 1-0 with Liverpool. They rarely score over 1 or 2 goals a game, and for the rarity of, I think they're just very well set up at the back.
I think so. They've got a very, very good keeper at the helm as well. I mean, I spoke quite a few times about my appreciation for Dean Henderson. I just am worried though, because right now, obviously, what club in the Prem or outside of the Prem tells David De Gea, "Yeah, mate, you were dropped"? No one does.
No one.
No one does. And
Not
also,
currently.
No, they don't. And also, David De Gea is also still, putting in pretty good performances.
He's a world-class goalkeeper.
I feel like United's losses have not been down to him. They've been down to other reasons.
None of Manchester United's problems are De Gea's fault whatsoever. Absolutely.
But when you've got a goalkeeper waiting in the wings like Dean Henderson, who I think, given the chance, would love to play for United.
Of course.
But I don't know if it's going to happen. But at the same time, if we let him go, I will be thoroughly disappointed.
It would be a shame to see him leave. Obviously, you've got him on loan along with Besic from Everton over there. To see Dean Henderson leave Man United would be an absolute shame. Looking through the eyes of a Man United supporter, you can't have that loss there.
Yeah.
If it takes David De Gea to get to the age of 30, 31 and he starts to slow down a bit, send him off for 50 million, bring Dean Henderson in. He's grown a lot by then.
He has.
He's played a similar role to De Gea where the defence is maybe a little lacklustre and you've got to face a lot of shots per game.
Yeah.
That is what he needs right now, to face a lot of shots to get in the limelight. And with Sheffield United's surprise, Dean Henderson's getting the media that he would face at Man United. He's getting the limelight, the attention that would come with being a Man United player.
Yeah. Just
without the label, just without the branding, he could have the potential to be one of the most marketable England goalkeepers in some time.
He's had 5 clean sheets out of the opening 12 games. Again, not a bad little start. I mean, just under half, but it's really interesting to see. We were only speaking, I don't know if it was last week or a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about him and the current England goalkeeper situation and who's going to be the England number 1. Because
we've spoken about this at length on multiple occasions.
Because Pickford possibly isn't the most convincing choice right now.
Absolutely not behind a dying Everton team.
But how can United keep potentially England's number 1 as a sub?
That is true.
Can't be done.
I mean, how long has it been since one of the top 6, I put in quotation marks, had a English goalkeeper? Joe Hart. I reckon it's Joe Hart at Man City.
It is Joe Hart.
Because we've had Mignolet.
Are you going to count Rob Green at Chelsea?
No, not at all. No.
Nah.
He wasn't. I mean, like number 1.
Number 1, it was Joe Hart.
Yeah, Joe Hart at Man City. Even that was like 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And then even then, you could argue that he wasn't after that. So, would Man United have a English goalkeeper back? But I don't think it's yet. I can't see it being yet.
I think it would be great to see, but like you said, I don't think it'll be yet. But I think Henderson's he's getting into his he's still a young player, but he's ready now.
Yeah.
He's no longer, if he wants to be a first team keeper, he can be.
There's going to be a time where he runs out of patience with Manchester United, and he's going to want to move.
Could be the end of the season, mate. It could be the end of the season. You know, Sheffield may pick him up permanently.
That is true.
Or a bigger club may come knocking.
Sheffield. All it takes is a 20 million bid from Sheffield United for the uppers at Manchester United to be like, oh, money. Let's get it. Let's ship him off because we don't see his potential, even though he has a ceiling that's so high at the minute.
He's 22 as well. I mean, it's just so worrying. I think it's the exact kind of thing which United would do to sell him, to maybe sell him permanently to Sheffield, put a buyback clause in there, and then maybe when De Gea leaves, have him back.
That's what they did with. Was that what they did with Wilfred Zaha as well? Was there a buyback clause? Because he started it and then went to Palace, bought him back.
Yeah, Palace had like a clause in there for them, and I think we had one in for us as well.
Yeah,
but I don't know because new contracts have been signed. I think that's long gone now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it went after Man United signed him the second time and then signed him back.
We've only signed once.
Really? I thought, didn't he start at Man United?
No, he's been a Palace boy.
Oh, I have got my factoids wrong.
And then we signed him over, and then he just kind of bombed, and he went back to Palace.
Oh, fair enough.
But so obviously Sheffield have got really good talent between the sticks.
They got Lys Moisset up front. They signed Phil Jagielka on a free.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've spoken about Besic on a free on a loan deal from Everton. And they've also got John Lundstrom as well, who's also picking up a bit of form for him as well.
One thing that was quite interesting as well. They took the why not call it a risk? They took the risk of bringing in Ravel Morrison.
He played one game.
He has played one game, 12 minutes.
He's not a Premier League caliber player whatsoever.
I think it's weird how they brought him back to the Prem. If people aren't familiar with Ravel Morrison, he was an attacking midfielder who started his career at Manchester United. Excuse me. He was in the same kind of class as the Lingards and the Pogbas, and around that time, he was heavily touted to be a great player. And they had a lot of kind of hype all built around them, and Ravel Morrison was at the front of that, even above Pogba. Ravel Morrison has a couple of minutes played for United, but his attitude ultimately just wasn't fit enough.
I think he saw that he was a Man United player. He was in the same caliber as Paul Pogba, and he sort of like he let the ego get to him.
Yeah, he did. He couldn't find the balance, which saw him become a bit of a journeyman. He floated around to several clubs outside of the Prem.
Lazio. He went to. Did he have a stint at West Ham? Or
he was West Ham first. Then he moved off to Lazio. He went over to the Mexican League.
He's been one of the most journeyed English talents.
But I mean, wherever he's gone though, his record just has not been good.
He's not a good player. There's a reason why he hasn't been anywhere near the England squad. There's no reason to actually trial him at all. So it
was a strange choice for Sheffield to bring him in, I reckon.
I mean, it was a free, was it?
It was a free.
So if you've got a talent like Ravel Morrison, who you want to bring off the bench, he's a free transfer. Why not? He's not doing any bad on the bench.
No,
he's come on for a game for Sheffield United. But obviously they had multiple other signings from inside this transfer window. Musa was 10 million. McBurney 17 million.
17 million.
That's what the transfer market thing was.
I was going to say. I mean, I couldn't remember the exact fee for it, but it's fairly big.
I know that I thought Musa would have been, because I hadn't actually. I'm not too clear with what McBurney has been up to, but to be fair, I think that the Sheffield team can equal their best Premier League tally, which was 92-93. They got 14 wins in the 42 games played, and they stayed up in that season. I think they can. I think they might be able to sort of get around that rank. Maybe get a 14 win. Like, they've got 4 at the minute, and there's 12 games played. There's now another 26 games to play.
Yeah.
All they have to do is win 10 games of those. Without a shadow of a doubt, they're going to stay up.
Seems very doable, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I can see them maybe finishing 7th at a push. I don't think they're going to finish in the top 6. I think those spots are reserved for Liverpool, Manchester City, Leicester, Chelsea. Maybe Wolves. Maybe
Arsenal, Wolves, or Man United.
I'd say Manchester United are definitely in the top 6 this season.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that they are. But I think they're going to start building up some form.
Yeah.
I don't trust the fact that they've got into this little rut this season. I think that they're going to pull it out of the bag. They always do better after Christmas.
Yeah.
As seen last season, they always do better after Christmas. So give it after Christmas. Give the January transfer window. Man United are going to be there. But Sheffield United, I don't think, are going to be up there. I don't think they have the squad to go at this all season.
Yeah.
If they can, that is remarkable, and I really want them to prove me wrong. If they can pull some points from Manchester City, that'd be great.
That would be incredible.
That would be fantastic for me. I'd be a second supporter of theirs. So we'll see where they go. But yeah, they haven't been in the Premier League since 2006-2007 season. Which is crazy. They a lot of the promoted teams are the one that keeps fluctuating up, like Norwich, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Sunderland. The teams that keep going up and down, like Wolves again. I think Norwich have come up 3 times since Sheffield United were last in the Premier League.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next game they have after the international break is Manchester United.
It is, and I can't see them winning it, but I can definitely see them pulling a point. It's crazy to say that nowadays.
I mean, it's away from home as well. I mean, anything could happen with United at the moment. It'll be an interesting game.
Well, to put this into perspective, Sheffield United are now level on points with Arsenal.
Yeah.
1 point above Man United, and a whole win over Spurs. That is crazy, because obviously Spurs are in 14th. They've won 3 games all season.
It's poor, isn't it?
It's absolutely poor. But then, yeah, they're also level. They're in the same bracket almost as Sheffield United, Manchester United, and Wolves.
Yeah.
No, as Arsenal, Man United, and Wolves. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I think they have the ability to pull points from those big teams.
Yeah. I feel like they were very unfortunate not to get points off Liverpool.
Absolutely.
I thought that was just a heartbreaking end to the game. But it would be very interesting to see where Sheffield progress. I mean, if you had to put a place on them finishing this season, I'd say comfortably upper mid-table.
Yeah, upper mid, like maybe 9th. Maybe I see resemblances to maybe not as scrappy, but like Aston Villa back in like 2008, when they added Bonlahor, Carew,
Young,
Ashley Young as well, James Milner, Gareth Barry. They had a very, very, very good team. They had like Rio Coker and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I see a very big resemblance to that.
Yeah.
So I reckon they could finish maybe 9th or 10th. They have the talent there. If they can just keep up, it's the Premier League this season is all about momentum.
100%.
As almost stopped.
Yeah.
As almost stopped dead at Man United after the international break. The international break is probably what's going to do it in for us again. We've got Crystal Palace next. If Sheffield United can keep rolling, and they can keep up, they're going to be fine no matter what.
It's all about just keeping momentum, isn't it?
Absolutely. This could be one of the most important seasons of not just Chris Wilder, Sheffield United, for all the players. They could get big money moves. They could get big money TV deals for more players.
Yeah.
This could be a proper rebuild for this team. Like, it's a young team as well.
It is young.
So who knows where this is going to go next?
Who knows indeed. There'll be all to see in the weeks to come. But there we go. A little rundown on Sheffield.
Exactly. Sheffield United. They are. I like Sheffield United.
Yeah.
And hopefully they continue to progress and hopefully lose to us. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode of The Average Pundits. It's been good to be back. It's been fantastic. And yeah, episode 8. This is
episode 8 now.
Going strong. 8 weeks in.
Obviously, next week we've got the international break, we won't have a strict Premier League topic to talk about, but we will still be keeping up to date with all of your football news. I'm sure we'll have something interesting for you.
Yeah, we'll come up with something for you. We always do. We've got something big in the plans, don't worry. And so follow us at Average Pundits on Instagram, at Pundits Average on Twitter. Be sure to let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, build those numbers up. Like this video, please. It helps us out. It helps us know that you guys like this content, and maybe comment on what you want us to do. This it's a constant building back and forth. We listen to everybody.
We do.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, guys, and we shall see you and speak to you next time.